Hello everyone, this is Dante Massimino, and in this video I'd like to talk to you about the Loft, Revolve, and Sweep commands. And the first one we're going to talk about is Loft, which you can get by typing L-O-F-T here. And what it does is it takes one object at the bottom and it will extend it to another object on top. So to do a simple loft, first off, we also have the option of the mode between solid and surface, which is much like the solid or surface modes in extrude. It's the difference between whether we have a solid object or just the surface of an object. So it's like having a solid block as opposed to a cardboard box. And to do a simple loft, you just select the bottom object, select the top object, say enter, and then say cross sections only, which results in this, a loft. Next up, I'd like to loft these two things along that path that I've drawn right in the middle. So we pick loft, enter, and then we tell it the path that we'd like it to follow. That. And as you see, it is lofted along the path that I've given it. Alright, next I'd like to loft with a guide. So we type loft, we select our surfaces that we're going to loft, and then when I hit enter, I pick guide, and now you see I've drawn this line here, and I select it, and the loft will follow this line as a guide, as such. And there you have it. Next up, I'd like to show loft with different continuities and different settings. So, again, we do the basic loft. We pick settings. Now, if I pick continuity, you see there's these different continuities here, and they change what the loft looks like. And then if we pick loft, enter, settings, you can see here, you have the ability to change the continuity from the settings option. You can also pick ruled, which basically just makes it go straight from corner to corner. You can do normal to all cross sections, which makes this because it comes at a 90-degree angle from each cross section. You can do normal to just the end cross section, that one. You can do normal to just the start cross section, like that. You can also do draft angles and make some really weird looking ones because you can tell it what angle to begin to come off of each cross section at. And this is just with basic 90-degree angles off each cross section. Also, you can pick the setting called bulge magnitude right here, and it's just like it says, you can decide the magnitude of the bulge on the loft. So if I want to make it really bulge, I can tell it to do it of 3. As you can see, it makes it bulge out quite a lot. Oh gosh. It bulges out quite a lot, as you can see here. It's also possible to loft to a single point. So if I do PO for point, I can select the specific point, say at 1.5. I don't know where that went. Yes, there we go. See, now we've picked a point and we lofted directly to that point, coming to a point here. Finally, we can loft from the edges of multiple different objects instead of an actual surface. So, you would type J for join multiple edges, and then select the edges that we'd like to loft to, and then select the cross section to loft these edges to. And as you see there, we have a loft from the edges of all these objects up to this object up here. Alright, so next up I'd like to talk about the revolve command, which can be accessed up here in the same place that you find loft, or by typing REV for revolve. First step of using revolve is to select the object you'd like to revolve, so this one. Next, you must specify the axis that you're going to revolve around. So you can do this either by defining your own axis, like such, which, as you see, will create an axis for you to revolve the object around. You can also use Additionally, you can see the mode command down here again, and like with Loft and like with Extrude, that will just give you the option between surface or solid again. So again, select the object to revolve, enter, and now instead of defining an arbitrary axis, we can do O for object to base our axis off an existing object, and that can be a line like the one you see here, or it can be the edge of an object that exists in the world. For this one, I'll just use this axis here, and as you see, we are now revolving our object around this axis. Next, we pick our object, and we have the options of X, Y, or Z down here. So what happens when you pick those is the axis is set as just that specific axis in the world. So say we have this object and I type Y. It is now revolving around the Y axis. And so on and so forth for the other two axes. And finally, the command I'd like to talk about last is sweep. Sweep is a command that lets you start with a face and extrude it along a curved path. For instance, we sweep, and then you have the option to select mode again, which again is just solid or surface. We select this face, we hit enter, and then we select this path. And as you can see, the object has been extruded along that curved path. Now sweep has other options as well. For instance, if we go back, we can sweep, select this object, and then we can pick our alignment. And that's just, for this one it won't have any effect, but for a different one, alignment will cause the object to become perpendicular to the path that it's being swept upon if you have it to yes, or it won't correct it at all if you have it set to no. We can also select a different base point for our sweep. So we can pick a base point over here, and then select our sweep path, and that actually causes the object to offset to the other direction, as well as causing this to happen up here, this weird deformation. We can also, another thing we can do is we can pick our scale. Now the sweep scale changes the size of the swept object at the end of the sweep. So at the beginning there is no difference, but by the end of it, it will have grown by the number of times that our scale factor is. So if I pick 2, for instance, by the end of the sweep you can see it is doubled in size. Finally, we have the twist command, and as the name implies, it will cause the object to rotate as it sweeps. So, for instance, if I do T for twist and type 90, then I select our sweep path. As you can see, the object twists around 90 degrees as it sweeps.